Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Park. This is the Talk Trader podcast, and today I have a very special guest, all the way from Romania. Could you, yay, could you introduce a bit of yourself?
All right. So, hi everyone. I'm Maria. You've probably seen me on Instagram as MARIEONARTS. I don't actually present myself with my real name. Like Peter said, I'm Romanian, but I haven't actually lived in Romania for a while now. I left Romania for uni back in 2020. Been in the UK for a year and a half after uni, and I'm now living in Portugal. Yeah.
Wow, crazy, crazy life. Could you tell us a little bit about Romania? Because I don't know anything about Romania at all.
I just want to debunk something because I feel like that's many people believe that we speak Russian. We
Really?
don't.
Oh, okay.
No, I've heard that do you speak Russian so many times. No, absolutely not. Romania has nothing to do with Russia anymore. It's not a Slavic country. It's a Latin country, Latin language, Latin roots, everything. It's just that Romania is in the middle of other Slavic countries. So in the middle of Hungary, Serbia, Ukraine. So all of
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
they are Slavic. And then there's us in the middle. That's a Latin country. So there's that. I would say that's the most important thing to say.
Could you do like a really simple self introduction in Romanian?
Sunt Maria din România și fac artă, e pasiunea mea, îmi place să desenez și să ilustrez și cam asta e toată viața mea.
Kamaste. That's the only word I picked up there.
Cam asta is like pretty
Kamasta.
much this.
Oh,
This is what
okay.
it means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kamasta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. You were in Romania. Why did you decide to go to UK for studying? Like you could have stayed in Romania. You could go to other parts of Europe for school. Like what was your reason for choosing United Kingdom?
So when I first got the idea of studying in the UK, that was when I was in sixth grade.
Oh wow,
And
that's really early.
it is. But in sixth grade, I told myself, okay, I want to study animation. So I told that to myself. But then obviously, you were 12 years old.
Yeah.
You don't pay attention to it. Then time passed, and I got close to finishing high school. So I think in my second year of high school, I started seriously thinking about uni and what's my next step in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I just always knew I wanted to leave Romania.
Mm-hmm.
UK was always my first option because I was an English speaker very early. Yeah, I felt most confident
Mm-hmm.
just because of that. I
Mm-hmm.
always wanted to leave Romania to study arts abroad because the way we study in uni is still very traditional. So you study
Okay.
the fundamentals and everything in high school, and then when you go to uni, it's like an extension of that. You don't really have animation
Mm-hmm.
courses or like graphic design maybe here and there. I don't know, like game art. You're not gonna see that. You simply don't have any university that teaches that.
Right.
So I didn't really have a choice. If I had it in Romania, I would probably not leave because I
Okay.
would like to
You're
be.
comfortable there.
I guess so. It's hard to say.
Do you feel like a foreigner when you're living in England or even in Portugal? I guess more in Portugal because the language is quite different.
Actually, it's the other way around.
Oh,
I
really?
feel, yeah,
Oh,
I feel more as a foreigner in the UK and more like at home in Portugal.
okay.
And it might be
That's
because
interesting.
both Portugal and Romania are Latin countries. So we might be
Mm.
having like similar way of living. So the people in Portugal are extremely welcoming. They just I just love the way they live life,
Yeah.
compared to Eastern Europe, in my opinion, tends to be like strict. Like
Okay.
people don't smile as much. They are strict.
Mm.
They are worried with life,
Mm-hmm.
and they want success. They want so bad success that you forget to leave.
Mm,
And I feel like countries like Spain and Portugal and Italy, all these other Latin countries do a lot better, you know? So you might get success. Everyone wants that,
yeah.
but you don't forget to live life in the meantime, you know?
Right.
They've got they've got like festivals and stuff. Like you would be seeing
Yes.
people like dancing and just it's really sweet. Whereas in the UK, well, first of all, it's the weather. I really hate it.
No, I think it affects your mental state a lot though, the weather though. Definitely.
I think so.
Yeah.
Cloudy every day and
Yeah. It's
cold, and
gloomy. Yeah.
so a country like UK where it's always cold and always raining, not really great. But yeah, the people in the UK know how to have fun too, especially
Yeah.
students. Like for me, UK is like crazy life, you know. But they're really organized. That's something I like.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
us, the Latin countries,
No,
I feel like
not so much
we're
so.
bad with organizations. Yeah, no, no. Like you don't know if you go to the train station, you might get lost which train you need to take. There are like no signs or whatever,
Mm.
so you might need to like ask around, you know, or
Right.
like just take a bit to figure out
Right.
where you have to go, whatever. Whereas in the UK, I feel like everything is really well organized. You need
Straightforward.
something, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You need something. There's a service for it. There's a phone number for it. There's something. You go
Yeah.
on the internet and you put a .uk at the end, .gov.uk or
Yeah.
whatever, and you're gonna find what you need. You know. But the rest of the countries
No,
like
so,
Romania, Portugal, maybe not so
yeah.
much. Yeah,
That makes sense. There's pros and cons, to every
yeah.
culture. How did you start, like, get into art? Like, how did it start for you?
There's this little story that my mom and my aunt always used to tell me about my young self. And apparently, I was like 3 years old. And this one day, they took me to the park, my mom and my dad, and I would draw on the pavement with chalk.
Hmm.
And I did a couple of flowers. And they found it really interesting that the way I did them was as if you'd see them like from the top instead of how you
Mm.
normally draw a flower where you have like the
2D,
root and then
the
you have
stem,
the flower.
yeah.
Exactly. And the way I did it, it was like seen from here, so you would only see like the flower like
Yeah.
that, and then on the sides
The
you
petals.
would have the leaves, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and the petals. And they thought that it was pretty wild for like a kid. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. I don't even remember doing it, but yeah, that's the thing.
You were special as a kid, is what I can
Maybe, I
say.
don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, the interest has always been
Okay.
there. And I took these painting classes when I got in primary school
Mm-hmm.
for like 2 years, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because my mom was really supportive of me trying things as a kid. So I would do swimming, I would do karate, I would do dancing, whatever. And among those, there was painting. So I did that. And from all the things that I tried, it was the one that just stuck with me, you know?
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like satisfied or you feel happy, the most happy, I guess, when you are drawing?
Now, maybe it's not as much as it used to be
Okay.
because I assume you're familiar with this. When you start doing something professionally and it becomes your job, you don't do it out of passion anymore. You
Mm,
have to do it,
yeah.
And that pressure can change your view of everything. So when I was younger, I really truly enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I still do, but now there are times when maybe I don't, and I just do it because I have to, you
Right,
know?
right. I
Yeah.
guess it would be good if we talk more about that. When a hobby becomes a job, like job meaning you're making money out of it
Yeah.
and you have to be consistent at it. So being a professional, how do you stay consistent?
I've been struggling with this actually
Mm-hmm.
recently with
Okay.
staying consistent because it's only been recently that I discovered what kind of art I really want to do. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I say I did art for a long time, I didn't do the same art all that time. So for most of my life, basically until I started uni, which is until 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I did fine art.
Okay.
So traditional art on paper,
Mm-hmm.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but not anymore. Once I got into uni, I got into digital, and now I'm doing digital art. But then that also has subcategories.
Oh
So
yeah.
I did animation in uni, but now in my placement year, I discovered that I'm actually not interested in that, and I want to do illustration and character design.
Mm-hmm.
So ever since I found out that this is what I really want to do, I guess that is the thing that motivates me now to stay more consistent. The fact that I know why I want to stay consistent, because before it was really hard. It
Mm-hmm.
was really hard. What would keep me consistent, it was just that I wouldn't want to fail my classes, to be honest.
Okay.
So the motivation wasn't really truly there.
Mm-hmm.
When you do it professionally, you don't, or you try to do it professionally, you don't really have the option of not staying consistent. You want to do it good, you want it or not, you have to do it. So
Right. Right. I think there's gonna be a lot of people also struggling to find what type of art or what type of like the category they're
yeah.
expert in. I guess I'm curious, how did you find yours? Like how did you eventually go from fine arts to digital to illustration and characters? Like how did that process go for you? Okay.
So I've recently had a talk with a friend on this,
Mm-hmm.
on the art style, how to find your art style. And that's what us artists want so bad to achieve, to get our signature. So when someone looks at your piece, they
Mm.
can spot your style. And my personal opinion is that to find that, you need to experiment with loads of things. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how I got where I am now. Because I did all of those things. I experimented with so many subjects and mediums and whatever. So when you do this, you can take out what you don't want. So you don't like to do
Mm.
this, you don't like to do that, and like um, you get a smaller, yeah, like a smaller group of whatever that you can choose from.
Mm-hmm.
So after I took all of that out, all of that traditional stuff, and I figure out that maybe that's not really what I want to do, I was left with everything that's digital. So being in animation, I had that. So I had 3D animation and 2D animation and character and design in general
Mm-hmm.
and visual development stuff. And I tried each one of those once again and took out even more of them. And
Okay.
then I was left with just digital illustration, which again has subcategories. And
Right.
this year I had the chance to try some of those and took out more. So that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of
How
how
you
I did it.
approached it.
Yeah.
I guess one thing is you tried a lot of stuff. You challenge yourself to try different things. Like digital very different from fine arts, but for some people it's very hard to start something new. Trying out a new category. Like
Oof, it
like
is.
say you're going from painting to sculpting. It's like two different things. Like for you, how it seems like for you that's a bit easier. At least
Oof, not at all.
okay, could you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I I'm not happy to admit that I'm a perfectionist. I'm working on fixing that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are a perfectionist, that comes with fear of failure. So every time you try something new, first you gotta come to terms with the idea that it's not gonna be good, and
Okay.
it's hard, and you have to face this fear and like accept that failing is the only way to actually not failing and doing better. Like
Right.
failure is not trying.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Okay.
actually doing it and failing at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's how it goes for me.
Mm-hmm. Just having that kind of perspective. I guess going a bit more on the surface of your art, going to I
Hmm.
guess kind of your Instagram page.
Yeah.
So you went from art and then obviously you're running like an Instagram page with art content, but like what inspired you to start this Instagram page posting your own content?
It comes down to what you want to do with your art career. So you have artists who, for example, want to work in a studio, right? And they just want to have a stable job in the art industry or whatever. For that, you don't need to have exposure. You just
Right.
have to have a strong portfolio. But then there's people like me who want to pursue a freelance career in art. And for that, it kind of is recommended building a community around you,
Right.
so people know you, and you build this kind of trust. So that would be one reason. But for me, it's also the simple fact that I like to connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
I simply like doing it. So
Mm-hmm.
if you look on my page, you'll see that apart from art content, I like
Mm-hmm.
to give out tips and things like that,
Right.
because it's things that I personally struggled with, and I
Right.
hope that I can help others not struggle with the same things. So it's a mix of the two.
And so I came across one of your reels, one of your, I guess, most
Mm.
exposed reels, where you share like how you grown your art account from 0 to 100K. And so I saw that, and then one of the thing was never take a break, burn out, sold your
Yeah.
soul. So I guess, how do you overcome your burnouts? Because I feel like there's gonna be times where you just don't feel like drawing, where you just don't want
Yeah.
to do art. So
Yeah.
sometimes you just have to draw something or make something for the sake of posting. So
Yeah.
how's that for you?
I take a break. I might be taking a 1 week break away from art, away from Instagram, away from everything. But in my head, I'm still there. So it's like,
Mm,
actually, you don't take a break. So I would
mm,
say try to disconnect yourself
mm,
mentally and physically from all this stuff, at least for like a couple days, And then in this time, you can either do things that are not related to art, or you can do that art that you used to do as a kid. So
mm.
the things that made you love art.
Right.
And this applies really to any area of expertise, not just art.
Right.
Like, do good things for yourself for a bit.
Yeah. I agree, cause when I used to run my own gaming channel, I also posted like content every day, and like you said, I thought I was very attached to the algorithm. Always had to make what
Yeah.
people like. Actually, like if you want to grow your channel, like socials, you have to post what people want. You have to understand what people want. But
Yeah.
sometimes it gets to the point where, why did I start this channel? Why did I start posting content? I get farther and farther away from that.
Yeah.
But if my goal is to grow the channel, that has to be the case. But like you said, I think sometimes I try to take a break and go back to why I started this channel, and then sometimes just create content that I genuinely want to just share. Like, it doesn't have to be what the people want. It doesn't even have to get a lot of views. It's just sometimes you have to take a break from that and do what you want. Create what you want, and
Yeah. Is that kind of how you like switch from gaming to doing podcasts?
actually, that's quite true. That's why
Yeah.
I
Okay.
switched over, because I felt like when I was creating gaming content, I was a slave to the algorithm. I was only looking to make content that would get a lot of good views. I wouldn't make
Yeah.
content to that I really wanted to get across. Because for me, I'm like a people pleaser. I like to make people around me happy. And sometimes in my gaming content, I try to give like messages to people, like try to give positive words of encouragement, or sometimes I would
Hmm.
try to teach. It's a Korean channel, so sometimes I would like to teach like the English language, like I would mix a little bit of language in it. But I always got like negative feedback when I was doing that.
Yeah.
So it was obviously something that people weren't really interested in, not really what they wanted. So I'm like, okay, this channel has grown quite well. It's going good for me. I'm making money, but it's not really what I want to do, like maybe like 5 or 10 years down the road. So
Yeah.
I just had to make
Yeah.
that decision to give a change. And although my channel right now is quite small and not performing well, but it's something that I'm enjoying, and something that I really wanted to do, is something, especially in terms of, can I give a little bit of motivation to people who
Yeah.
are actually burnt out, or to people who
Yeah.
uh, can't pick up themselves to, go to a 9 to 5 jobs, because that's not necessarily bad, right? Like having a routine is very good. But if I can motivate like at least one person transform some certain people person's life, then I think that's like more meaningful than helping someone get from a low rank to a higher rank in a game. You know, it's
Yeah,
different. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, it's easy to get lost in the numbers. I was actually checking the other day my insights on Instagram.
mm-hmm,
So to see kind of what brings you followers, what people like, what people are not interested in, whatever. And I was a bit saddened when I saw that there was 2 days when I checked my the followers I gained and the followers I lost
mm-hmm.
that day. And there was these 2 days when I posted art and I lost more followers than usual. I
Oh,
got more unfollows. I didn't get
yeah.
more unfollows than follows, but
Hmm.
it made me question where how my community grew if and why everyone is there, and
Hmm.
it made me a bit worried, because maybe people are there for the tips I give, and I absolutely love that, and I'm gonna keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But then it made me sad thinking that there's a possibility that they are there just for that and not for the art as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what I want. So it's very easy to let the numbers control you.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, I was overthinking it. In the end, I gave up on the idea, and I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
the people on my Instagram care about me as much as I care about them.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, you start to overthink it.
No, I
It's
totally agree. I was also quite curious how the lessons you learn in art, like how has that helped shape your life so far, just as a person.
Studying art helped me understand that sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do.
Okay.
So when you're studying a subject like art, it's obvious that it comes out of passion and you just want to
Mm-hmm.
do your scribbles and whatever your interest is. You just want to do that stuff. But when you realize you want to take things seriously, it's not just that. You have to study the art fundamentals. You have to learn anatomy and composition and color theory, and it's like learning maths or
Mm.
linguistics or like any other subject.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do those things, and I feel like that shaped me as a person as well. So on a daily basis, you might not to cook a good meal for you, and you might just want to leave off Oreos for the day. But you shouldn't. It's bad for you. It's not
Yeah.
gonna get you anything good. So yeah, in the end, cook a meal. That's kind of, I think, the biggest lesson that studying
Okay.
art taught me.
Kind of going back to your art, could you kind of introduce like the type of art style that you have?
It's a really a mix of everything, and actually, if you look at the end of all my videos and posts, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I think I have it in my bio as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have art style jump scare written in there
Right.
with a little ghost, because that's literally how my art style, I feel like, is like at the moment. There
Mm.
kind of isn't any art style. If I would categorize it, I would say that it's inspired by maybe fantasy and mythology. Those are
Okay.
my biggest inspirations. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that. I think you will hardly ever see me draw like mundane characters. It's
Mm-hmm.
just not, you know,
Just not
it's
your
not just
thing.
not my interest. Yeah.
All right.
But in terms of like I don't know, like the color palettes I use, or the kind of strokes, the kind of digital materials I use, or whatever, I don't feel like I necessarily, yeah, have something in particular, because I like to try things out.
Mm-hmm.
And even when you work with like a client
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, I like to feel like I can adapt my work to anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about my art. I like to adapt it to whatever I'm in the mood or for whatever is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like you like to be
Jack
uh
of all trades.
yes, jack of all
Yeah.
trades, a multiplayer.
I'm not planning to keep it like this forever.
Yeah.
I want to niche down
Mhm.
eventually, and
Mhm.
like I said, to really focus on more
Mhm.
character design and visual
Mhm.
development.
Mhm.
But at least for now, that's kind of
Mhm.
where my art is at. Yeah.
Okay. Then I guess when you try and take a break, like try and get some steam off art and try to not think about it,
Mm.
what do you do?
I play some games. I Mobile Legends. It's my guilty pleasure. And I play Magic the Gathering, the cards
Oh
game
yeah.
sometimes. But I only got into it recently. I
Okay.
used to go for walks a lot back when I
Mhm.
was in Portsmouth. It's
Okay.
when I study. I study in Portsmouth University in the UK. So you have a beach there, and I used
Oh.
to go to the beach every once in a while, maybe read really basic stuff, watch
Yeah.
Netflix, read, go for a walk, this kind
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
stuff. I used to like cooking, and now I
Oh.
don't do it as much,
Really?
but yeah, that's something I like to do. Yeah.
Okay. One thing that I really wanted to ask, and it
hmm
was, what are your next upcoming goals, like in the next year or 3 or 5, like in terms of your career?
Obviously, I have to go back to uni next year.
Mhm.
So I will finish my placement here and go back to uni, keep studying animation, get my degree. After that, kind of want to move abroad, go to Australia for a while. Not at any point am I really planning for now to like settle. I really just want to move around every once in a while.
Mhm.
And for my art, the reason why I build this community is like we talked to, I is to connect with people. So I want to keep doing that, and at the same time get some freelance jobs, build a stronger portfolio, really properly get into character design because I'm still new to this. So kind of swing it like that. I also want to start selling some merch at some
Mhm.
point. I have a shop already, but
Oh really?
I think I might be changing platforms. So
Mhm.
there's that. So kind of building loads of income streams
Mhm.
for my art. I don't really look
Mm.
into just like studio work.
Mhm.
I'm not that person. I don't want a
Right.
long-term job. So yeah, kind of
Okay.
kind of swing it like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. If you're comfortable sharing, is there
Mhm.
like a annual salary, like, or how much income this is like that you'd be comfortable with, you think, by just by making art like in a year?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I like to be really transparent with
Okay.
my art, and that includes the
Mhm.
financial side of things, because
Mhm.
we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like everyone wants to know it, but yeah, it's kind of we get shy talking about it.
Yeah.
So since I'm just starting out, I'm really aiming to just get like the starting point salary of a UK illustrator,
Okay.
which is around 25 to 30,000 pounds a year.
Mhm.
That's simply the numbers.
Okay.
Like if you look it up on the internet,
Yeah.
that's what you're gonna get.
Right.
That's kind of like the starting salary.
Mhm.
So that's what I want.
Right.
uh, at the same time, it depends what country I'm in, because even if I'm using UK as a point of reference, I might not be in the UK,
Right.
and you might be needing more or less than that. So
Right.
we'll kind of see about it.
Yeah.
I've kind of have like I've got my hourly rate, and
Mhm.
I'm hoping that I'll be able to get like more and more work
Mhm.
and slowly increase that hourly rate
Mhm.
in I'm talking years,
Right. Right.
and just simply go from less to more,
Mhm.
whatever that is,
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
the point where I'll be able to, yeah, support myself
Mhm.
financially completely just from art.
Your aim is to kind of become a full-time freelancer, right? And you don't
Yeah,
really want to go into like a studio and
yeah, yeah,
work like a 9 to 5. Okay,
yeah,
that's good for you.
100% no.
Good for you.
Don't you as well? Like 9 to 5 is scary, and you said you don't really like that either.
Yeah, there are definitely pros and cons.
Yeah.
But there's just so much to experience in life that working on 9 to 5 is in some aspect terrifying because so much to do, so many places to go. You know, I gotta go to Romania and
Yeah.
have that
And
cabbage
try
and
the
yeah,
food.
yeah. And I feel like when you're working a 9 to 5, it's really easy to fall into that routine of life. And
Yeah.
we were talking about having a wide perspective on life, and it becomes narrow, and it becomes very similar to the people you are with. Because naturally,
Yeah.
the way you think is who you're around, who you're talking to,
Hmm.
and I'm scared that one day I might become like that because I'm not saying that's bad, but I just want to experience more and have like wider perspective
Yeah,
on
yeah.
things. Yeah.
You know, with the world we live in, working a 9 to 5, so working 8 hours a day is not
Mm,
even, it's not even supposed to be like this. Like, um, I was actually watching some studies on this, you know, and
mm-hmm.
we are not supposed to work 8 hours a day if there is not someone else taking care of the stuff at home, for example.
Mm,
Like, I don't know if you experienced this, because I did have some jobs at some point, so I would
yeah.
work like a schedule like that. And when you get home, you don't have time for yourself anymore,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
the house needs to be cleaned. There, you need to cook, you need
Right.
to, I don't know, you do need to do all that stuff, you know. So we kind of got, like, we got here with this 9 to 5, but we forgot that when we started working 8 hours a day, it was like industrial revolution, when the other partner, you know, would stay
Mm-hmm.
at home and do all of that
Right.
stuff.
Right.
So one would work, one wouldn't, but
Yeah.
now everyone works 8 hours, and then
Yes.
who takes care of
At
the
the
other
home.
stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And you're just constantly tired and overwhelmed with
Well,
this stuff.
that's a very good point. I've never thought
Yeah.
about it like that. But yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, we're not designed to work 8 hours. I mean, we can because when I was in the marketing agency, I worked, I would say, on average 12 to 14 hours a day.
My
So
God, that's
very long hours. But like you said, I didn't have a life for myself, and that's why I think I keep trying to get out of that environment. Like I go there to
yeah,
with the intention to make money, obviously. But once I
yeah,
have that, I come out and then trying this again, trying podcast again. But
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. So there you go, running from the 9 to 5.
yes, running from 9 to 5 to I don't know, cause sometimes I feel like freelancing is sometimes it can be 24 hours. Do you know
Exactly
what I
what I
mean?
was gonna say. Exactly. But I don't know. At least you're doing what you like
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, I don't know. You don't have your boss like asking you to work overtime. Like, you decide if you want to work overtime. I want to work 24 hours today. I can do it. But
Right.
then I can take a week off if I want to as
Yeah.
well, you know?
Yeah. That's true.
And I just love that.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I guess good luck to both of us in doing
Yeah,
that.
for real. Good
Yeah.
luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can wrap up our podcast here. Well, that's it everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video.